Now he manages a smile as the attendant, a woman named Azar, squeezes past him and heads back down the hall to get other passengers settled. From the doorway to their compartment, he watches Mae dig through her bag. She's wearing ripped jeans and a navy and white striped shirt, her hair pulled up in a messy bun, and she hasn't said anything in what feels like a long time. The actual space between them might be small, but to Hugo, it feels like 1,000,000 miles. The conductor's voice comes over the loudspeaker. "If you've just joined us in Denver, welcome. This is the California Zephyr making stops en route to Emeryville. Breakfast is currently being served in the dining car, and the next stop will be Winter Park, Colorado, in a little over 2 hours. Enjoy the ride, folks." Mae grabs her camera bag. "I think I'm going to go up and do some interviews." Hugo understands that he's not invited, but he feels a rise of panic at the thought of her leaving when there's still so much that needs to be said. She slings her bag over her shoulder and then looks at him expectantly, waiting for him to move away from the door. "I'm sorry," he says again. The train is moving now, the sunlight streaming in through the window. I shouldn't have watched the film, and as far as the other thing goes, Hugo, will you please let me? Can we do this later? "I just want to make sure you know that, please," she says. And something about the way she says it makes him nod and take a step back from the door, his whole body humming with regret. "Yeah," he says. "All right." Her arm brushes against his as she whisks past him, and he wants to reach for her hand and try one more time. But instead, his heart sunk low, he simply turns to watch her head down the short hallway and up the narrow staircase. And she's gone. He slumps into one of the seats in their room and watches the landscape change as the train starts to climb into the Rocky Mountains. They pass rivers and ranches and fields of cattle, sheer rock faces and streams dotted with fly fishermen, all of it slightly unreal, like something out of an old western. Every so often, the brief darkness of a tunnel closes in around them, and it feels for a few seconds like there will never be light again. In 34 hours, they'll be in Emeryville, California, which is just across the bay from San Francisco. He was meant to arrive with Margaret, of course, then spend a couple of nights in a hotel near Fisherman's Wharf before driving down to Stanford. When they broke up, he assumed she'd head straight to Palo Alto. And it occurs to him now that maybe the whole reason she's in San Francisco is to see him. "We need to talk. I miss you." Without really thinking, he opens his phone and finds the last picture he and Margaret took together. They'd gone to Brighton for the day, and she insisted they take a selfie near the water. But as they did, a seagull flew so close to their heads that they both shouted and jumped away. Only its tail feathers made it into the corner of the photo. The rest was the two of them with their mouths open, half laughing and half screaming, Margaret's blonde hair streaming behind her as she started to escape toward the edge of the frame. "Bird brain," she said, shaking her fist in mock anger. Later, she made him give her a ride on his back because the wedge sandals she'd insisted on wearing were hurting her feet. Then she complained about the food at the cafe where they had lunch, and had a strop when he wouldn't leave the arcade until he beat his skee-ball record. They were both tense as they walked back to the train, annoyed with each other in the way they always seemed to be lately, after spending a certain amount of time together. But then another seagull flew past, this one high above them, and Margaret frowned and muttered, "Bird brain!" And that made them both dissolve into laughter all over again. He pulls up her text messages. "Okay." He types, then slowly erases it. To his surprise, a video call from Alfie pops up on the screen. And when he picks up,